You want to make a cheesecake and you gotta know, is it worth shelling out the extra money for the brand name stuff, or is your cheesecake gonna turn out just as good with the basic ingredients? Well, today we're gonna make the exact same recipe twice. First using the brand name, then using the basic. A lot of you guys have asked to see this one, so here it is. I'm Nate from the internet, and this is brand versus basic cheesecake. At this point, I've made several different recipes with this higher quality ingredients versus lower quality ingredients, but today we are really taking the name of this series to heart. We are testing the most recognizable brand, the things that you think of that pop into your head when an ingredient comes to mind, versus just whatever store-bought version is available. We've got some things like the honey-made graham crackers as opposed to the basic. We've got the Philadelphia cream cheese and the Daisy sour cream. Are these things actually going to make a better end result? We'll do some cost tallies as well to see what the price difference is between the two cheesecakes, but what we really want to test today is, will the brand name actually make a better result? I gotta say, predicting ahead of time, I bet not. I bet this is gonna be a great example of how it seems like there's all these fancy brands out there, but they aren't gonna make as much of a difference when you've got them all mixed together in a recipe. So, getting started with our cheesecake, we gotta make ourselves a crust. I love cheesecake, and I love having cheesecake for breakfast, but it's not exactly a healthy thing to have every day. You know what is a healthy thing to have for breakfast? The sponsor for today's video, Magic Spoon. Now, I love cereal, I always have, but I do know that most cereal isn't exactly the most healthy way to start your day. It's full of sugar and other carbs. Well, Magic Spoon is cereal reinvented. It's a cereal that's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. The cereals have 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. There's also only 140 calories per serving. Magic Spoon cereals come in a bunch of great flavors. If you get the variety pack, it comes with cocoa, fruity, peanut butter, and frosted. My favorite is cocoa. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's back with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Click the link below to grab a variety pack and try this delicious cereal today. And use my code INTERNET to get $5 off. Now back to your cheesecake. After consulting the recipe, very complicated, and we've got our nice identical pie pans here. So we're gonna take our graham crackers, which interestingly, Honey Maid is so confident that their name is associated with graham crackers. It doesn't actually even say graham crackers anywhere on it. It says grams down here, like really small, like with the net weight font. Just Honey Maid, that's all. You don't need to know anything else. It's the brand of graham crackers. How did 9 become the standard number of crackers to be in a package of graham crackers? What a weird decision. And I'm sure Honey Maid made the decision first and everyone else copied them, but why 9? Maybe it's just the ratio, because they want like the nice square end to it. I don't know. All right, 9 of those, 14 graham crackers. Why? Apparently, the pitcher only goes on in one direction. Or it's my fault, which is probably more likely, but come on. Butter's an interesting one because we know that there is a quality difference in cheap and expensive butter, but because I was just going for brand name, like I wasn't gonna go with my fancy New Zealand butter as the most expensive, I was just trying to think of like the brand that stands out the most, and this is like the only thing I came up with. I know multiple brands of not butter, but I don't know a lot of brands of butter. All right, there's our store brand graham cracker crust is all ready to get its filling. Tastes like graham crackers. With maybe a little bit of butter in it. The order does not seem to be important. I want to point out that even though I'm doing the very basic version, it's still authentic, fresh squeezed lemon juice. So, because I care about you as an audience, that's why. Thank you to the several people who commented last time I was using this and I talked about the clearance, how it wasn't scraping the bottom of the bowl. They explained that there's ways to adjust that, and so I found instructions and I did adjust it. So I think it's a little better now. Thank you. These eggs are exciting. I just opened them to discover colors. Eggs are one of those things where there wasn't a brand of eggs that I knew of, so I just went with the expensive eggs, and these are actually the most expensive eggs I've used yet. It was $8 for this carton, but look at the shells. They're such fun colors. All right, let's see. I bet we're getting a very orange yolk in these eggs. Oh yeah. I'm interested to see if the color of the egg yolks will affect the color of the cheesecake filling. I bet it will. Half a teaspoon lemon juice. This is an organic lemon. Always needing electricity. While the pies are in the oven, I've got an important test. I have a normal, boring, everyday lemon, and I have this super fancy, more expensive organic lemon. Just gonna see if I can taste a difference. Lemony. Also lemony. I cannot tell a difference. They both taste like lemon. Whew. Now I don't know if all cheesecake recipes have a topping that goes on after you bake them, but this one does. It might be pretty common at least, so just gonna make that up real quick. Then after you take them out of the oven, they wait for about 10 minutes, you put the topping on, and you put them back in the oven for about 10 more minutes. It's a very simple topping. Sour cream, sugar, vanilla. They're more different than I would have thought. And I think most of the flavor is coming from the vanilla and not the fact that it's like, oh, it's a good vanilla flavor. More like, that tastes like the alcohol that the vanilla is in, that's like one of the strongest notes that I'm getting other than, you know, sweet and sour cream.
Big enough clock. I'm hungry.
So I thought about just waiting longer on this one, but it seemed unfair to change up the recipe. You know, don't change horses midstream kind of thing. So I am trying to be a little bit more gentle in how I apply it so it doesn't break through and mix up like that. But I gotta say, I would say give it like an hour. Just give it time. Who's in a rush when they're making cheesecake, really? We've got both pies cooked. We're gonna let these cool down overnight, and tomorrow we'll gather the panel of judges for the taste test. All right, we've got the judging crew. We're gonna be doing some cheesecakes. Now, guys, I do have the two different kinds. I didn't just go with most expensive and least expensive this time. What I tried to go with was really getting to the brand versus basic idea. So I got the most recognizable brand. So I had Philadelphia cream cheese, I had Honey Made graham crackers, I had Land O'Lakes butter, in case that matters, C&H brand sugar. So I really tried to stick with that, and then I just got the basics, the store brands. As a heads up, I didn't realize that I was supposed to let the cream cheese warm up before I mixed it in. So there is a level of interesting texture to both of them, more so on one of them than the other. We did take a slice to take some pictures earlier, and so I have had it, and I don't think it ruins the flavor even a little bit, but I'm just warning you ahead of time. So we have our two cheesecake, and the top damage on this, that's actually a different problem. That was, yeah, this is how good I am at cooking. The recipe I had said like, wait 10 minutes after it comes out of the oven before you add the topping. 10 minutes was not enough. So I put the topping on and it like fell halfway into the cheesecake. I was like, well, but I'm just gonna say, I have had both. I enjoyed both quite a lot. All right, so please keep track of which piece of pie you are eating and try them both. So I have legitimately considered, like, I could remake the cheesecakes to try and get a more even test now that I know the error that I've made. I'm okay doing that.
They're different. This one's more sweet.
If one of them is more sweet, that's very interesting because they have the same amount of sugar in them.
Yeah, this one's like nice and smooth, and this guy's a little gravelly.
I love it when my desserts are gravelly.
I will say, I don't believe that the texture difference has anything to do with which brand and which one was the brand, which was the basic. I think it was just user error.
I'm trying to ignore the texture and just go off flavor, and I can't pick.
Do you want us to reserve?
I mean, I can tell you which one I like better.
I mean, the flavor is significantly different regardless of texture.
You think? Give your thoughts.
My initial taste thought was the sour cream, and I think that one tastes better.
Okay.
I think I'm leaning towards that one.
Yeah, this one is way better.
Regardless of presentation.
Right. Even trying to ignore texture.
Okay, so, and the flavor, you think that the flavor is coming through is better?
The flavor is richer.
I would expect something like that if I were like ordering like a cheapish restaurant cheesecake kind of a deal, I feel like.
I feel like I like the crust on that one more. This one felt a little drier. I don't know if that's...
This is the brand. This was made with the brand name ingredients. This was made with the basic ingredients.
Okay.
It's interesting that you're bringing up the crust because the texture of the graham crackers was noticeably different. This one was like a lighter, crispier texture, and this one was like crunchy. This is the Honey Made brand graham crackers. It was crunchy versus like crispy, basically, was the difference. The not warming up the cream cheese was the first problem, and that's what caused it to be like separated. It's kind of like when you're making a dough, you want the butter to stay cold so it stays separate. Well, I wanted the opposite, but I did it wrong. So that's part of why I actually was thinking I might redo it and make 2 new cheesecakes where I know even warm up the cheese a little bit so it blends in really nice and smooth. Do you think it's worth remaking to see if the change in texture helps the flavor?
I think it would be, yeah.
If you
it
say
would
yes,
help.
you get
I
more
had a hard
cheesecake.
time.
So.
Yeah, I'm here for more cheesecake.
I will say, I agree with Tyler though that crust is,
You like it better?
It's just richer. I think it's just richer flavors all around.
You know, that's kind of what we're trying to figure out. Like, is the brand stuff actually better? And if the answer is yes, then the answer is yes.
In this one, yes.
I said at the beginning, like when we started recording, I guessed that this one wouldn't make any difference at all. But this tastes more than this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I think we're gonna revisit this. I'm just gonna remake it. It's all gonna be the exact same process, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna do cheesecake take 2. All right, redone. I remade both cheesecakes, same ingredients, except this time I made them correctly, at least mostly. The tops are a little wonky because I had covers on them and it touched the surface of both of them. So it ruined the aesthetic of the nice smooth cheesecakes, but it shouldn't affect the taste. Here we go. We learned last time that the crust had a very noticeable taste difference, so we would probably be able to taste the crust and tell, but note the more appropriate texture.
Yeah, I'm not gagging on the chunks, so we're good.
Nicole, who already hates cheesecake, do you hate them equally?
I don't know.
Do you loathe them a balanced amount, or is one of them even more particularly
I
loathsome?
hate them both equally.
All right.
I'm a non-discriminant cheesecake hater. Expensive, cheap, it doesn't matter.
I like that one better.
Which one?
This one.
The yellow one?
The slightly oranger.
Yeah, that one's just, I actually can't remember last time which color was cheap and which one wasn't. I completely forgot. But I like this one better this time. This one seems more flavorful.
This one.
Oh,
Fight!
disagree.
Fight!
Strongly disagree.
This one is significantly tangier. This one is like really nice and creamy, but it doesn't have a very strong flavor.
Now I have to pay attention to tanginess.
I'm trying to taste the crust by itself.
Yep, I like
Do I
that crust.
lose? I like this one. I like them both. I guess that one's more expensive, but I
think this one's more expensive.
like the one with that I think has more flavor.
I like the tang more, but I think this one tastes creamier and smoother and overall much better. But I do like the tang.
They're both good.
Well,
I'd eat them both.
I can reveal this is the one made with the brand name ingredients.
I knew it!
That orange color comes from the much more expensive eggs, yes, which are like straight up the color of carrots. What do you guys think? Do you prefer one over there? You were saying you prefer this one, tangier. You were saying this one's creamier.
Significantly better.
I like this one better.
Significantly better.
Yes.
I do like the tang.
They're both good.
I would be interesting to try that sour cream topping on this cake.
We've tasted sour cream side by side before, and we noticed that the more expensive one was like noticeably different. Less sour, but more creamy, was it?
You see, and I like the sour of that, but the creamy of this, so maybe a combo, but this overall is better.
Well, I think what we observed about the crust before holds true. The off-brand graham cracker crust, very little flavor compared to the honey-made graham cracker crust.
Buttery, flaky crust.
Buttery crispy.
Buttery, crispy, flaky.
We have neither flaky nor crispy in this case. So what do you guys think? Do you think buying the brand name, the Philadelphia cream cheese?
I don't think they're so drastically different. I just feel like this one has more flavor.
As long as the
would be very
instructions
similar.
actually say everything, like make sure your cream cheese is warm, I'd be fine. I want to try just the sour cream topping. Much smoother and creamier, much brighter and tangier. I think I agree with you that like the more acidity in the cheaper sour cream actually goes really well with it. I like that. So you're making cheesecake. Is it going to be worth it to buy the brand name ingredients? For the most part, my opinion is that no, it's not worth it. Now, can I taste the difference between the honey-made graham crackers and the store-brand graham crackers? Yeah, I can, including in the crust, if I'm looking for it. if I'm not trying to tell the difference between the two, I don't think I would notice. With the sour cream, the store brand was a little more tangy than the other, so if you like that, you can get the cheaper one. If you want less tang, get the brand name one. The cream cheese, I don't actually think makes much of a difference at all. So the star of the show, as it were, the cream cheese in the cheesecake, I would say just go with the basic version. Don't worry about the brand. Overall, some people liked the brand better or the basic better, but I think it was really, really close for everyone. Like, there was a lot of back and forth before you could even tell a difference. I'm gonna give this one to the basic, like maybe more than I have from some of the others. Like, to me, you're getting a good result either way, and the brand name stuff isn't really elevating that. Maybe the graham crackers. All right, so I ran the numbers. Now, as of filming this, food is like weirdly expensive right now. I'm sure you are all aware of this, but I did buy pretty much all the ingredients at the same time, so it's equally inflated. The total cost for the cheaper pie was $6.33. Now again, that's the ingredients I used in the pie. That's not like all the money I spent buying the ingredients. If there's leftover graham crackers, I'm not counting that as cost toward the pie. So $6.33 for the cheaper pie. The more expensive pie, $11.35. So getting up near double the cost for the more expensive pie. This is nowhere near double the result. This is like 5% better at most. Like, you really can't tell unless you're going back and forth comparison testing. I am firmly handing this one to the basic. Get the cheaper ingredients for your cheesecake. If you want to get the more expensive graham crackers, fine. That was like $1 difference. But don't be getting all of the expensive ingredients to make this recipe. Like, the cheap is good. Some people like the cheap better. No one had a strong opinion for the more expensive one to be like, oh, it's so much better. No, didn't happen. It wasn't like the tacos. Guys, clear winner. Get the cheap, save your money, have a great cheesecake. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have other ideas of things you want me to test like this, let me know down in the comments. I love reading your ideas. And of course, a very special shout out to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Your support means the world to me. If you are interested in joining those people who are supporting me on Patreon, the link for that is down in the description.